Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to start with the first chapter of Moments, that is The Lost Child by Mulk Raj Anand. So let's see about the author. Mulk Raj Anand was an Indian writer in English. He was notable for his depiction of the lives of the suppressed and deprived sections in the traditional Indian society. He was born on 12 December 1905 and he died on 28 September 2004. Anand was one of the pioneers of Indo-Anglian fiction. He, together with R.K. Narayan and Raja Rao, was one of the trio of Indian English novelists. Anand novels and short stories are noted for their perceptive insight into the lives of the oppressed classes. He received the award Padma Bhushan. Some of his famous work include Untouchable, Coolie, Two Leaves and a Bed, The Village, etc. The central idea of the story is this story is based on the theme of the close bond that children share with their parents. The child goes to a fair with his parents. He is very excited and wants sweets and toys displayed there. But very soon he gets separated from his parents. The lost child forgets all about his desires and yearns deeply for his parents when he fails to find them. Everything else loses its significance, and the only thing that matters is his wish to be reunited with his parents. So let's see the summary of the chapter. As fair is a point of attraction for every child, same is the case with this little child. So it was the spring festival and the main attraction is the village fair. A massive crowd has gathered to partake in the festivities. There are people from different walks of life. They have colorful and diverse appearances. That means all of them were wearing different kinds of clothes. Some are brightly dressed while some are ordinary clad. The crowd is thronging out of the town and moving towards the village fair. Thronging means in a large number they are moving out to go to the fair. The protagonist, a young boy, is also there accompanied by his parents. He wonders about the pleasantries and offer and is particularly interested in the toys sitting beautifully in the fair stalls and shops. So main attraction of the fair is the games or the shops. So in the same way the boy was also thinking about those things. He yearns to play with them but his desire is dismissed by his father. So whenever he asks for something, a toy or a game, his father refused to give him or let him play. His mother offers a warm and tender reply and asks him to look at the beautiful setting instead. So instead of looking at the things in the fair, his mother asked him to look at the other thing. She wanted to distract him. Being heartbroken with unfulfilled desires, he looks at the massive expanse of mustard fields in front of him. He is overcome with delight and joy after taking such a beautiful sight. The fields are decorated with yellow flowers that are dotting the landscape with pristine natural beauty. The little boy's innocence is reflected by the fact that on watching such beauty he forgets the pain of his dashed hopes of joy. That means the dashed hopes means which was not fulfilled by his father. He finds amusement in mother's nature ample bosom, unperturbed, yani undisturbed by the remains of his desire. He is gripped with childlike mischief. He enters the field and rummages through the flower. He finds purpose and gratification in chasing his new pursuit, the colorful butterflies and dragonflies. For a minute he has forgotten all about the toys and the pleasantries present there in the fair. To him they represent a greater catch than any toy at the fair. The mother is aware of his love affair with the butterflies and asks him to not wander off far and away. The motherly care adds more beauty to the context of the beauty of the scene, the way his mother was taking care of the child, it's add beauty to the scene. The boy returns to his parents and accompanies them on the sidewalk. However, his attention again flirts with new pursuits, little worms and insects. He swings and chases after them. The mother again warns him about not running off far. The parents decide to rest near a well in a grove and sit on its edge. They were provided shade by a humongous banyan tree. It was a vast in tops spread and its branches dominated over other smaller trees like gulmohar, etc. The child, unaware of their whereabouts, loses his way this time and reached the fair instead. He is oblivious to the fact that his parents had decided to stop for some rest. In the midst of the fair, his attention is fixed on the sweetmeat seller who is urging the customers to enjoy the sugary delight of his sweetmeats. So he saw a sweet shop where lots of sweet and different kinds of sweets were kept. The boy began slavering for his favorite burfi. He is aware that his desire and limits his confession to a faint whisper and move on. So he is very well aware that if he is going to ask for those things, his father will say no. So in spite of having the desire to have it, he did not ask his parents. Then he sees a flower vendor and a balloon seller. He shows a great understanding of his circumstances and does not linger too long at any of his desired allurements. That means whatever he wanted, he never stopped there for the long time just because he was pretty sure that his father is not going to fulfill his wish. Now he meets a snake charmer. The man has a flute and a snake. He is seized with a desire to seek the thrill of a man controlling the dangerous reptile, but he remembers his unfortunate limitation. So all of you must have seen the snake charmer taming the snakes, and also he too wanted to see that how he sees the dangerous reptile. The child reaches a roundabout, that is the giant wheel. He can see it whirling round and round. There are plenty of men, women, and children having the time of their lives riding on it. They were enjoying a lot, that means. His nerve breaks at this attraction and he turns around to plead his parents to allow him to enjoy the ride once. So now after seeing the roundabout, he could not control himself and he put aside everything aside and he just looked back to ask his parents to go on for a ride. To his utter dismay and horror, he doesn't find them there. He is all alone and deserted in a crowd of strangers. In this fearful astonishment, he runs all over hunting for his parents. Tears trickle down his face. His turban is undone and his clothes are drenched in dust and sweat. So he was just he forgot about everything. He was just looking for his parents. He didn't bother about his clothes, nothing. His desperate attempts to relocate his parents and find no sympathy in a crowd of strangers, which is consumed in self-indulgence, frolics, and merrymaking. So all the people there in the fair, they were busy with themselves. They were enjoying themselves. They were self-indulged. They were not bothered about the boy, so he was just looking after his parents. He gets tired, rests, and dries his tears only to start running again. So when he was tired, after crying so much, he sat down. His clothes was full of dust. Then again he got up and again he ran here and there in the fair just to look after his parents. He keeps yelling for his mother and father in the hope that they may hear his mournful cries. He reaches the temple, but a huge crowd at the door knocks him off his feet. That means he was pushed by the people there in the temple. The temple was full of people, a large crowd. They didn't bother about the child. They made him fall on the ground. Lying on the ground, he is almost trampled by the crowd of devotees when someone helps him to his feet. So a stranger came there and helped him to stand on his feet. The man is sympathetic to the boy's plight and inquires about his situation and family. So the man, he just saw the boy and he inquires about him, about the family, what happened to him, how come he is in such a situation. The child is overcome with grief and emotion and cannot stop wailing. He cannot stop crying after meeting the stranger. The only words he can muster are that explain his desire for his parents. All he wants is now his parents. The sympathetic man comforts the child and tries to console him. So the stranger, he wanted to console the child because he was crying so bitterly. So he offered everything what the boy wanted to have earlier, the roundabouts, the sweets, the flowers, everything. But now the child is grief-stricken and unable to control his tears and painful cry. Now all those things which he really wanted, the materialistic things which he wanted, now nothing matters him. The only thing which matters him was to be reunited with his parents. So the message which the story gives us is the children, they love their parents unconditionally. The boy, in the beginning, it is shown that his father was very strict. He very well knew his father, so he didn't ask anything from him. Still, when he is lost, the only thing he desires for his was his parents. He wanted to meet his parents. He wanted to be reunited with his parents.